All right, everybody. This is Mr. S. Anthony Thomas. This is S. Anthony Says Podcast, episode number 516. And I just want to say this. I'm going to call this episode Back of the Refrigerator People. And I'll explain exactly what I'm talking about. The best way to put it is, have you ever just found stuff that you bought for yourself, food that you bought for yourself, in the back of your refrigerator when you were cleaning it out? You go and you go, oh, what is this? It's green, right? It has mold in it, or it has, you know that it's basically just a big bowl of food poisoning, and so you just dump it out. And you knew you weren't going to eat all of that. You knew when you got three-quarters of the way through that you were going to eat just what you ate, and you were never going to go back to that bowl again, but you put it in the refrigerator anyway. And you don't do it just once. You got a half a sandwich you didn't finish. You got a juice that's been in there since 1975. You got all that crap in the refrigerator. And when you clean out the refrigerator, what do? You don't even remember eating it. You go, who bought this? I don't eat this. Then you realize you did eat it, half of it, and you throw it out. And we keep doing it. Remember, your parents always go, hey man, don't waste food, don't waste food. Well, the only difference between what you're doing right now when you're taking the moldy food out the back of your refrigerator or out the back of your cupboard or wherever you put it and throwing it out that night is saving some time. I know you've been in a situation where you were trying to find a bowl and a spoon. You had no idea where's the bowl and the spoon? I can't find the bowl and the spoon. They're in the back of your refrigerator covered in crap. That's right. You got some eggs in there that if you threw it in the trash can, it would probably blow up the whole block. You know what I'm talking about. But why do we do that? Why do we hang on to the food we know we don't want to eat? You should have thrown it out the night you weren't finished. You know you weren't going to eat it later on. But it's not just food, is it? Right? How many of you who are a little bit older have more than one car? Or you have a car where you have winter tires and summer tires. And then you went and got yourself, you know what? I'm not changing my tires all the time because I have friends that have cars that have summer tires and winter tires. And you know what I have in my car? All weather tires. You know why? Because I ain't doing that. I know guys that have a ton of tires from their cars they don't even drive anymore. Like, dude, you're driving a F-150. Why do you have Toyota Camry winter tires in your garage? Well, I just don't want to throw them away. Are you going to buy another Camry? No, I'm going to drive trucks for the rest of my life. Then what do you need the tires for? He's got 8 tires in his garage for a vehicle he sold 5 years ago. Why is he hanging on to them? They're not doing anything but taking up space. Only thing he's doing right now is hiding the gym equipment he don't want to use behind him so his wife don't go, wait a minute, that's some gym equipment. Why don't you get your big butt on there, chump? But we always hold on to things longer than we should. Food, tires, mindsets. When you make an improvement on yourself, you start eating right, you stop smoking, you stop doing this, you stop doing that, and all this kind of crap. And then all of a sudden, it'll come popping back out. You'll do that crazy thing you used to do when you know daggone well you shouldn't do it. You're a married guy, and you wind up at the strip club. You don't cheat on your wife. And she knows you didn't cheat, but she still don't want you at the strip club. You shouldn't be at the strip club. You're a married man with children, but your friends talked you into it. Why? Because you are crazy. It was okay to do that when you were younger if you believe that's okay to do, but not when you were a 42-year-old married man. You hung on to the mindset. That mindset of going to that place you know you shouldn't have been going is just as dopey as having those 8 Camry tires and just as dopey as having that bowl of mystery meat fermenting in the back of the refrigerator. But it's the same thing with people too. Sometimes you have people around you that are just, you're like, why am I hanging out with this person? And as a middle-aged man now, I wouldn't have anybody around me that I wouldn't that make me look like a chump. But when I was younger, oh man. And some of you are young, you know what I'm talking about. You're probably hanging out with somebody right there right now. I remember hanging out with a guy, and he was the nicest guy in the world to us, to his friends, to the people that hung out with him. We hung out at his house. He was at somebody else's house, or we went out someplace where it was just us hanging out, and not a lot of people in the general public, or it's the same clientele in the bar we were hanging out. Fantastic guy, the greatest guy in the world. But sometimes, my friend, there are times when we would go other places, places where we didn't know the bartender, places where we didn't know the owner, places where we didn't have friends in the bar, and another side of him would come out. Now, I was in my early 20s at the time, and this guy was a little bit deeper in his 20s. Not quite 30, but close enough where if you rounded his age up, you'd have to round it up to 30. And you would figure that somebody my age would be the one that he would be looking out for, right? But those of us that were a little bit younger, some of us that were a little bit wiser than this cat was kind of watching him and trying to figure out why is he acting the way he acts. He had a mindset that we weren't familiar with. He was starting to become that food in the back of the refrigerator. He was starting to become those tires. He was starting to bring back that mindset. What was coming back to him, but it was new to us. When we went around other people, all of a sudden he was a little bit antagonistic. Oh, he had a little bit of an attitude problem. Ooh. He was nice to the waitress at the bars where we knew everybody, but when we went someplace else, he behaved in a way where we all kind of looked at each other like, what the heck is this? Is this bad behavior and aberration? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt this time, second time. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt this second time, third time. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt this third time, fifth time. We are no longer giving him the benefit of the doubt. He was the kind of guy that would see an attractive woman, see her with a guy, and the first thing he would do is walk up and flirt with her. Bad enough. But he wasn't just flirting to flirt, he was legitimately trying to take people's girlfriends and wives, or a lady that this guy had just started to build a connection with. And that was one of his favorite things. Just trying to build a connection with. So well, she hadn't committed them. She was just talking to him for 20 minutes. No big deal. Why don't I just sweep in? She looks incredible. I think I'll go over there and get her. She's all warmed up for me. That seems to have been his mindset. And we're all watching the game. We're playing pool. We're chilling in the back, having a good time. We look over. We see him talking to a pretty lady. No big deal. I talked to a pretty lady. I got a couple phone. I got a phone. I didn't get a couple phone numbers. I usually get one at a time, but that's a different story. And so hey, well, we're doing some kind of thing. Whoop, 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 whoop. And then we see a guy come out of the bathroom, and we can see. And at first, we're not paying attention to the guy because, like, who cares? There's some guy coming from the bathroom. But there was a bad energy coming. There was a guy that all of a sudden went from a regular guy going to the bathroom having a great smile on his face because he found the beautiful lady to talk to and he was having a great time with her. And all of a sudden he turns around and he sees you know who flirting with the lady. Now, a lot of times, if a lady finds a connection with you, even if another guy comes up, even if he's cool, she's going to show you the respect of going, let me investigate this guy first. I'm not going to just dump this guy because somebody else came along when he was in the bathroom or whatever. So she's trying to get him to get rid of him politely, but he's persistent, right? And we're about to go over there and go, man, leave that lady alone. But we didn't get a chance to because the guy she was talking to, oh, he made a beeline. And it looked like there was going to be a confrontation. And it also looked like this guy was way bigger than any of us at the table because we're all regular sized people. And he was a little slightly bigger than us, but he was not big enough to deal with this guy. And we still had him in the back of the refrigerator. He was just now starting to grow some mold, metaphorically speaking. We weren't ready to throw him out yet. Not quite yet. Guy walks out of the bathroom, sees him. Hey man, what's going on, man? That's my seat, man. I don't see no ring on her finger. Oh, dude. Oh. Oh no. He had done that many times. That was the one I was describing to you was the first time he had done it. And like I said, he was starting to get moldy in the back of the refrigerator, metaphorically speaking. We weren't going to throw him out yet, but we were starting to get the feeling he might give us food poisoning, metaphorically speaking. Oh no. So what did we do? I walked up. I'm like, hey man, let me get this guy out of here, man. Yeah, man, get your boy out of here, man, because he about to get messed up. I'm about to bust him, kill him, drop him, beat him, and whip him, chop him, stomp him, chip him, you get all of that crap. We got him outside. Man, what is wrong with you? Hey, man, I ain't seen a ring on her finger. He just met her tonight. He ain't got no claims on her. I get that, but why would you get into a fight over a woman that's not even with you? Are you insane, man? She looked too good. I had to take, man. I mean, if he was married to her or something, I wouldn't have done nothing. That was his girlfriend or something. But I saw him approach her and I've overheard him talking to her. So he didn't even know her like that, man. He didn't even know her last name. And she just said her name and he said his name. She don't know his last name. You don't know her last name. And all that crap. Night ends. He goes home. We all go our separate ways, and all of the rest of us, not that chump, we're talking to each other like, "What is with this dude, man?" I mean, we never. He started to become a pain in the butt, man. He's starting to become a liability, man. We can't have this guy hanging around us like that. No, man, no. Yeah, they were right. He had gotten into the habit of me being able to talk him out of butt whoopings, right? But even though I'm really good at calming people down, I'm not infallible. There's going to come a point in time where somebody's so dead set on whooping on them that I'm not going to be able to talk them out of whooping on them, and they might start whooping on or trying to whoop on me. Oh no! I mean, I've been in situations where people try to attack my friends, and we had to whoop on somebody, or somebody tried to whoop on us and beat us down, and that's just the self defense. But that was when somebody was going out of their way to be mean and aggressive when we didn't do anything. That's a whole different story, my friends. The final time, the time when we finally took his punk behind out of the back of the refrigerator, tapped the bowl on the sink, let him slide down the garbage disposal, turn on, ground it up, and rinsed out the bowl or throw the bowl away, whatever you do after you find the moldy bowl in your refrigerator. This was the thing that made us, especially me, have to take his chump butt and drop kick him out of the whole groove. Once again, bar. And I'm sitting there going, why are we with this guy again? Because we had started to talk to him. Hey, man, you got to stop doing it. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And we started hanging out back at our home bars, and some months go by, and he's behaving again, and we lulled back to sleep. Go to a sports bar to watch something. And here he goes again. I don't know. Maybe sports bar were his kryptonite when it came to his good personality. But whatever happened, he now goes over to another lady again, sees a lady and a guy talking. But this time he didn't assess correctly because this was a long-term relationship, and this dude did not play. Some guys don't play. Some guys go straight to knuckle sandwiches, if you understand what I'm saying. And this guy was deceptively big. You know when those people that don't look that big, then they take their jacket off and you realize they probably juggle trucks on their off time? One of them dudes. Hey man, get out my girl's face. I don't see no ring on the finger. And the girl was literally trying to get rid of him. We saw him. We're like, oh, let's get over there and stop him. And it was too late. Too late. Mini Hulk was ready to rock. Right? And the guy, knowing that I'm always the guy that was able to talk people out of trouble, I wouldn't have been able to do it this time because this guy was like, I have to whoop on this guy. So he goes, yo, man, get S. Anthony. Get S. Anthony. Now, he meant get S. Anthony to cool this down because he has a knack for calming people down. But when a guy's in a fighting mood and you say get S. Anthony, what do you think that guy's thinking? He's thinking, like, oh, you go get S. Anthony. S. Anthony's going to come and beat this guy up. So I come over and the guy's like, what? This is a regular sized dude, man. You think you're supposed to be doing something? I said, nah, they just told me to come over here for some reason. What's up? Yeah, this dude's talking to my girlfriend. And we all looked at him. And I said, you know what, man? I don't know what's going on here. I mean, we came together, but listen, if you want me to, say, don't go to jail. Let me just walk this dude out. You know what I mean? You could just go and enjoy the rest of the evening with your lady. I didn't know what was going on, man. I came with the dude. I couldn't lie because they saw us together. You know what I mean? But I mean, there's no reason for you to go to jail just because he's being an idiot. Okay? You should respect your lady. And I said, you should apologize. I ain't going to apologize. I said, well, you can apologize and not apologize. But this guy just softened up while I was talking to him. And I said it right in front of the guy. He softened up while I was talking to him. He has made the decision with his face to let you walk out of here if you just shut up and say you're sorry. If you don't, I'm walking out of here. I'm not getting hit by that guy because you're stupid. Right? Well, I ain't apologizing. And I walked out. And the rest of us walked out. And he got knocked out. Too bad. When somebody gives you an opportunity to avoid a butt whooping, you take the opportunity, my friend. And he was mad at us. And I'm like, look, we almost had you. I had you out of there, man. I literally, you saw me talk to the dude, calm him down. He literally stepped back and motions as if to say, go ahead on out of there. We could have got out of there clean, gone to another sports bar, or gone to a bar that we hang out and chill. But you had to go get knocked out. Your problem. Don't get mad at us. We tried to get you out of there. And that was the last time we ever went anywhere with the guy. Right? He occasionally popped up at the place we normally hung out, and we were cool with him, but he wasn't part of the crew anymore. Because if he's going to act that way in this particular situation, you never know when he's going to act that way again in another situation. Who knows? It could be somebody with a weapon. I can't out talk a bullet once it's already fired, right? So we had to take that sucker out the back of the refrigerator and dump him in the trash. We had to take those tires and take them to the recycling bin, my friends. We had to take the mindset and push it out the window because we weren't going to take that crap. But we all do it. We keep things a little bit too long. We keep people around us a little bit too long. And I've learned as a middle-aged man, I'm at the point in my life where I pick and choose who gets near me. And you get vetted. You don't know you're getting vetted, but if I see red flags that let me know that you're a negative person, a pain in the butt, going to get everybody else in trouble, oh, you can almost hear that sound. Whap, 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 because that's what's going on in my head, and I got to drop kick you. I'll finish with this and let you know how serious I am about it. There was someone I was very, very close to, and they did some stuff that I didn't like, stuff that I could not be around. And this is not just some guy like the guy I just described who was a part of the crew and he was cool, but this was somebody I really, really cared about. But he was going down the wrong pathway. And other people ghosted him. They kind of stayed away from him, but I'm not really a ghosting type of guy. If I don't want you around, I'll tell you to your face. And I told him to his face. I said, yo, you're doing some stupid crap. I don't want that tied to me. You know, I got love for you because we grew up together and everything's cool. But as long as you're doing that crap, as far as I'm concerned, your punk behind doesn't exist. Don't call me. Don't come near me. Your my block privileges have just been revoked. Your phone number, calling me on the phone privileges have just been revoked. Your contacting me on social media privileges have just been revoked. And you know me well enough to know that if I say something like that, you really messed up. Come back to me when you've been cool and you stay away from that silly crap that you've been doing for a few years, not just a few months. Gave you a chance to be cool, but you're doing dumb stuff, and I don't have people around me doing dumb stuff. And people thought he was going to be mad. People thought he might even try to strike me, which I knew better than that, right? And he looked at me and he goes, it's like that. And I said, yeah, it's like that. And he goes, all right, man. I'm sorry, man. You know, I'm just going. I'm gonna do my thing, man. You know, maybe we get together at some point in the future. I said, well, maybe we will. Maybe we will. We didn't. I'm not going to say what happened, but let's just say I'm not I'm not wearing any suits where people hand me a metal container with dudes dressed in the same suit that I'm wearing, looking at bars. I'm on the other side. And from what I understand, he's cleaning himself up while he was in there, and he's out a little bit doing his thing. And if he's cool for a little while, I'll check in on him, see what's up. But sometimes, man, like I said, sometimes you got to get rid of people, and it kind of sucks. But you know what sucks worse? Being around suckers that drag you down. And you don't need that. And I don't need that. And I won't have that. And you shouldn't have that either. Yes, I know. I tend to do comedy on YouTube. And the overwhelming majority of this podcast, we go back and look at the other 515 episodes. A lot of comedies sprinkled in there. Some of them are just straight up comedy stories, and there'll be straight up comedy stories in the future. But I decided this podcast is called As Anthony Says, which means just like anything else, I can do what I want. It's not like I'm on a network television program where somebody says, "Hey, you can't say that." No, this is my podcast. No, I do's what I wants on this podcast. You're daggone right. You know what I want to do? I want to thank you for listening. You know what else I want to do? I want to hope you come back again. Much love to all of you. Take care. Unk out.